Hi, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday Wisdom. I'm Melissa Peshka with Essential Life Mastery Coaching and Healing. Today, I wanted to talk to you about why people shut down. Did you ever notice sometimes people just, in a stressful situation or something, people just kind of cower down and kind of crawl back in their shell like a turtle does? And you wonder, why aren't you saying anything? Why aren't you speaking up? Well, sometimes people just don't want to say anything just in fear. Fear of what they'd say, fear of how it would be portrayed, how it would be received, and also how it would be criticized or judged. Um, if you've experienced, judgment before, mental emotional trauma, then you get it. Okay, if you never really were made to feel like you were smart and intelligent and you knew what you were talking about, you kind of cower down. So especially even all the way past into childhood, if you said something and somebody went, no, you don't know what you're talking about, or whatever. I mean, even if a child tries to give an input or make a suggestion, you know, I've actually had some pretty good ideas from some kids. Okay, sometimes we as adults overthink things and we complicate things and overanalyze. And sometimes kids just go, it's so easy. It's just do this or do that. And you're like, flip it over. Okay, leave it to a child to tell you to flip it over. So, you know, they sometimes they rationalize things, but then they kind of almost just do it naturally. So, but as a child, sometimes you could be damaged. You could have some serious PTSD from things that you were told as a child, okay? Emotional, mental trauma as a child. So even as adults, we go through that and we're afraid out of fear because we don't want to feel ashamed or humiliated or embarrassed or feel stupid, okay? To put it bluntly. And none of us are stupid. Okay. We are all intelligent beings. We are all smart people. We have our own levels of intelligence. Some are smarter in certain things than others. And, nobody is in that category in my book. Um, but, circumstances arise as adults. Okay. And you sometimes tend to cower back and recoil because we don't want to give our input because we may not be an expert in that field, or we may not have all the answers. But even just adding a little bit of input, you might feel like, okay, I'm not even going to say anything just because of out of that fear that I felt before. um, you lose confidence instead of gaining confidence. Okay, and if you look back and you notice the personalities that do this and feel this, look back on who they've been around. All right. Sometimes they tend to attract those who feel superior to that person because you've never gained that true confidence that you needed to gain, because you've always been around those types of people that always put themselves above you or make you feel less confident. They make themselves inferior to you. And in some cases, we allow that. Because if you do say something and you feel strongly about what you said and they disagree, well, now you're talking conflict. And let's face it, if you've got a fear of saying something that you think might actually be beneficial, now you're in a conflict. Now your feelings are hurt. Now you feel less confident and you have a conflict. Now, what do? Now you really have gotten yourself way overboard, and it just would have been easier if I tucked back into my little shell like a turtle and called it a day. But how do you overcome this? How do you gain the confidence and to assure yourself that you are intelligent, okay? And you need to interact. Well, one of the things that I suggest you could do is if you're in a situation, really evaluate it. Take a deep breath because you've already got something that's come to your forefront that you want to say. So think about that and say, well, would this help in this situation? Okay. And if you feel yes, then believe in yourself. Have that confidence. Stop regretting not saying something because you never know. All right. Um, it's weird how sometimes the negative comments are easier to accept than the compliments. So when you do get that, oh my God, that's such a great idea. I never thought of that. Take it and run with it and let that build up your confidence so that the next time something happens, think back and say, well, I took a few minutes and I did say something and it did work and it was a good input or it did help the situation or it made sense to the other person. So keep that going, keep that momentum going and build yourself up, okay? Because if you wait around for somebody else to do it, you're going to be waiting forever, okay? I mean, yes, there are people around you that will help build you up, but you've been put down so many times before that you believe the negative because there's more to them than the confidence, the compliments, I should say. You've had more negative and more judgment because of the people you've been around. Staying quiet, you know, again, feels safe. You feel like you're not going to get judged or less chance to have a conflict. But again, like I said, be aware of who you're around. Be aware to notice the people around you and do they help build you up or do they put you down? Anytimes my kids would say something that, well, yeah, I did that because I'm stupid. No, you didn't do that because you're stupid. You just made a bad choice or you made a bad judgment call. Or I know you can fix this because you're smart and you could think about it, take more time, take your time and think about it. What would be a better choice or what would be a better option or how would have been a better way to do that? It's not because you're stupid, because you're not stupid. You are very intelligent. You just chose the wrong path right now. And it can always be corrected. Um, notice what circumstances trigger you. Notice what triggers you into recoiling back and not saying anything. Um, Even if you're not an expert in that field or whatever, you may know something about it or something else. Sometimes all it takes is taking that brief second to evaluate what you want to say and say it. And once you practice this, taking your time, your conversations become more flow. They have more flow to them. They're more fluid, have more fluidity to it. You have more confidence in your speaking ability and you'll have less conflict, okay? Because you've taken the time to say what you want to say. Also, spend time with the people who build you up, who compliment you, and I don't mean compliment you with good praises, compliment you in the way of allowing you to be the best you can be, okay? And if you'd like, I got Gracie over here with me. If you'd like more information on any of these things that I've always talked about, feel free. There she is. Feel free to reach out to me and let's set up a call. Okay? And I hope you all have a blessed day. And thanks for watching. Take care.